If and only if there is a negative deviation, the step 4 comes. That is, corrective actions, if necessary, should be taken. Controlling your finance is a beautiful technique which is from the nomadic life. If you understand, people used to control whatever they had. Return on investment, in the sense, whenever we invest anything on any of the business, now when will I get the return back? Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Commerce and Management from Vidhyaashram First Lead College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students for the 5th chapter, and the chapter here is controlling. Now what exactly the meaning of controlling is? I told you in my previous sessions also that all these shortcuts I'm gonna teach you. Here also I have one shortcut for you: controlling what exactly you are supposed to do. Comparing actual performance with standard performance. If there is any deviation, rectifying it, and that process is called controlling. So here in this chapter, I'm gonna give you the definition given by Henry Fayol. Now what Henry Fayol says controlling is all about. According to Henry Fayol, control of an undertaking consists of seeing that everything is being carried out accordance with the plan which has been adopted in the orders which has been given and the principles which have been laid down. So here, very simple definition of Henry Fayol. I'll explain you in a very nutshell. Usually, the top management are the one who does the planning. So after planning is done by the top level management, it goes to the middle level management where the managers are there, and they are the one who will actually check whether this plan can be done in a better way or not. So then they're gonna give this to the supervisory level where the supervisor is there. And now supervisor, he is a person who need to control. And what exactly he need to do is whether the employees, the other workers are there who are working according to the plan or not. If they are not, then they need to control it. That is what Henry Fayol says. Its object is to point out mistakes. So according to the plan, if you are doing it, there is no problem, there is no mistake, so the controlling will not actually come. But its objective is to point out mistake. When they say, that means if any mistake is there, in order that they may be rectified and prevented from recurring. So in order anything which happens wrong, or there should be a rectification which should happen, so controlling will actually come. That's why I told you, right? Very simple meaning of controlling: comparing actual performance with the standard performance. Any deviation is there, rectification act, that is called controlling. So here we have the characteristics of control. Now the characteristics are like this. It's a managerial function. It need to happen. Forward looking. There is nothing called the backward. You are supposed to go with forward. Now things have happened. What is that we need to do? Rectify it and then move forward. That is what controlling characteristics is. Continuous process, continuous activity. Now please understand. Any company, say example, Tata company. Now Tata company, the founder was J.R.D. Tata. When they started this, the management was not in the pinnacle, right? The management was not professional. So they started initially. When they went with it, there are so many things which happened which was good, so many things which happened which was bad. So controlling came into existence even then, isn't it? So what happened? Even now Tata company is there. Even now the aspect of controlling is still served in Tata. That means what? It is a continuous process, continuous activity. Control is related to planning. So whatever you plan, according to that, it should be there. That is what the controlling is, what is related to planning. And the last one is essence of control is action. So anywhere there is a problem, right? We need to rectify it, and only then we are supposed to move. We are not supposed to go without rectification. So it is what? Essence of control in action. Importance and advantages of control. Now here, importance of advantages are basis for future action. It is for the future. Facilitate decision making, what we are supposed to go with, that decisions will be taken. Facilitates decentralization, facilitates coordination, and psychological pressures are there that will be taken care by controlling. So these are the important advantages of control. Next is process of controlling. Our process of controlling can come for 10 marks. There are 4 steps which I have shown you here. For all the steps, you have something common called as feedback. Now, each and every step, there is a feedback which need to happen. I told you the planning is done by the top level management, but all execution is done by the middle level and supervisory level. So here what happens is the first step is taken by the top level, that is setting standards, or we call it as establishment of standard. Now what is this establishment of standard? In the sense, set standards, how the things need to happen, how the employees need to work. So I'll give you an example here. Let's take an example that we have a project and we are supposed to start the project, finish the project, and get more benefit out of the project. So setting standard or establishment of standard, that means how the project should be done, the quality wise, right? Measuring the actual performances is the second step. Now the people will come, they'll start working with the project, how exactly it is. Every time they are matching it, whether they are in the standards or they are out of the standards or they are within the standards. So anywhere there should be a feedback which should happen, that standards are set, feedback. Actual performance is measured, feedback. Now you need to compare actuals with standard. So when you compare actuals with standard, now you will feel that there should be rectification should be taken, or there is a positive deviation or there is a negative deviations. Now here what happened, comparing actual performance with standard, say you got a positive deviation, right? Positive deviation. The standard was set, the quantitative standards is like, we need to make a profit of 5 lakh rupees. Now here the actual performance is showing that 10 lakh rupees profit you are making. That doesn't mean that you will rectify. No. It is positive deviation, right? Plus 5 lakh rupees is a positive deviation. Now what happens? The feedback is gone. Comparison is also there. If and only if there is a negative deviation, the step 4 comes. That is corrective actions, if necessary, should be taken. Say example, I'll go with the second example. Standard was like 10 lakh rupees profit we need to make. Actual, we only made 5 lakh rupees profit. Now comparing, so 5 lakh minus 10 lakh is minus 5 lakh. So there is a deviation of minus 5 lakh. Corrective action should be taken. Again, one more step will happen. That is feedback. Follow-up action. That is how the continuous process which goes from the first to the fourth. Everywhere, feedback is compulsory. Next is techniques of control. Now we have 2 types of techniques of control. First is traditional technique. The second is modern technique. For BCom students, please do understand that you do not have much explanation for traditional technique. You only have explanation for modern technique. In that you have only 3 techniques, right? I'm going to teach you the 3 techniques, but before that I want to teach you people the traditional as well as the modern technique. Now what is traditional practice? That is, traditional techniques are, there are 4 here which I have listed. The first one is personal observation. Usually a supervisor will be there. He'll observe each and everybody personally and he'll go with the MIS, Management Information System. He'll start drafting it in a file saying what those people are doing, how they are. So that is how there is a person who is supervising and people will work according the way he wants it. Now that is called a traditional technique to control the employees. Second is statistical reports. Now you would have seen in the showrooms of the 4-wheeler or the 2-wheelers, best sales manager, best salesperson, employee of the week, employee of the month, employee of the day. What are these in the sense? Now because of these statistical reports of individual, if we start giving it to them, they'll have a control over themselves, right? So the techniques is what? Again, it is outdated. Statistical is also outdated, but it is very expensive, guys. You need to spend a lot of time only for that. Next is break-even analysis. Let me help you with this term called break-even analysis. This break-even analysis is an analysis where you will find neither loss nor profit. So neither loss nor profit is there. So technique, how it is traditional in the sense, whenever you invest something, the first thing is what? You should not have losses. So you need to come to an extent where that point where you will not have losses also, where you will not have profit also. So many of the startups or many of the business plans which goes with it, they always analyze what? Break-even analysis. Say, I went with 5 lakh rupees investment. Now, when will I get back my 5 lakh rupees with little more amount is what I'll always go with. That is how the control can happen. Last is the budgetary control. Now, always we need to understand the meaning of budget is, budget means wallet. Controlling your finance is a beautiful technique which is from the nomadic life. If you understand, people used to control whatever they had. They never used to overuse it or exploit it. They used to preserve it. So budgetary control is also like that, where people will get to know that how much they are supposed to spend and how much they are supposed to earn. Coming to the modern technique, now this is what you people need to understand. Now in your syllabus, if you go with it, you have something called return on investment, PERT, CPM, JIT. Only these 3 points are there in your syllabus, but I'm gonna teach you even ratio analysis, responsibility accounting here. So return on investment in the sense, whenever we invest anything on any of the business, now when will I get the return back? That is called the return on investment. How much will I get? If I have that calculation, there is a technique which can control my finance. Ratio analysis are something which in depth, if I go, analyzing 2 things and then analyzing whether it is proper or not. That is what ratio analysis is. Now I'll give you an example of ratio analysis. Usually it happens in the medical field. You will go and you will give your blood sample. Now they're gonna check how much hemoglobin you have, white blood cells how much you have, red blood RBC how much you have, all other things they're gonna check. Now they're gonna give you a report, isn't it? Whenever they give you a report, there are 3 columns. One is the basis on what exactly it is, another is how much level you people have, and one more is there, that is the ratio analysis, that how much it should be, whether you are in normal or abnormal, minimum to maximum they're gonna give. That is what the ratio is. Now if the doctor gives you something without ratio analysis, say example, now BP is there. A person has a BP of 180 by 110, right? Now that person doesn't know whether it is normal or abnormal. So ratio analysis gives you a chart where they say 90 to 120 you should be. Now you will get to know where 90 was, you have 180. Where 120 was, you have something else. So that is what the ratio analysis, where you will control your BP, control your sugar through ratio analysis. That's why it's very, very important for one person to understand the ratio analysis. Responsibility accounting, whenever you go for any type of accounting, this is for the modern technique. You should be very responsible even to use any resources, because resources are scarcity and we are supposed to use it optimally. So responsible accounting. PERT, CPM, we have PERT, CPM. CPM is critical path method. PERT in the sense program evaluation and review technique. Now I'll tell you what exactly that are. And the last one is JIT. JIT is from Japan. So it is called just in time. Just in time. So here, return on investment, please understand this. I have given you a detailed study here. The reason is you will definitely get a question called techniques of control, where you need to write all this. ROI can be defined as one of the important and useful techniques. It provides a basic and guides for measuring whether or not invested capital has been used effectively for generating a reasonable amount of return. So ROI will actually teach you how to invest, whether you invest in a good one or in a bad one. Ratio analysis is a technique of analyzing the financial statement of a business firm by computing different ratios. A ratio is an arithmetic relationship between two figures. I told you, right? Two figures. Now, everywhere ratio analysis actually goes well. Next is responsibility accounting. Now, when it comes to responsibility accounting, I told you how responsible one should be. Responsible accounting is a kind of management accounting that is accountable for all the management, budgeting, and internal accounting of a company. Usually, what happens with management accounting is you will not go with fictitious figure, you will go with a proper figure, because you should know how much money you have within your company. So that's why fictitious figures will not be given, exact figures you will actually get it. PERT, that is program evaluation and review technique, and CPM is called critical path method, are important network technique useful in planning and controlling. So here PERT and CPM are something which will evaluate the program, which is proper, which you need to do it in the earliest way. And critical path method in the sense how well you are supposed to finish each and every task in a very given time or a short time of span. Meaning of coordination. Coordination is a 2-mark question. You can get it. That is, what exactly is coordination? What do you mean by coordination? It's a process of integrating the objectives and activities of the separate unit, departments, or functional areas of an organization in order to achieve organization goal effectively as well as efficiently. Now understand this. What is coordination? If somebody asks you, write this one, plus you also add this. Coordination is a role of all manager. Coordination integrates and unite the effort of the employees to accomplish the organizational goal. So coordination is a continuous process. Coordination helps in achieving group goals as well as individual goals, plus it will also help you to satisfy your personal goals through coordination. So need for coordination. Why there is a need for coordination? Again, a 2-mark question. The need of coordination arises because individuals and departments have different goals. So I told you, right? To achieve individual as well as group goals, you need coordination. They depend on each other for resources and information. Without information, without proper resource, nobody can fulfill their objectives. Managers continuously coordinate their activity to ensure that all individuals and departments use organizational resources and information for successful attainment of organizational goals. So that means it is the manager who actually binds all the departments, all individuals. Why does he do that? Only to fulfill the organizational goals. Principles of coordination. Now, principles of coordination may come in the 10 marks or may not come in the 10 marks. But if it comes, how is that you will write this? You will write introduction first, then meaning, then definition of coordination, need for coordination, and then you're going to go with the principles of coordination, where if coordination is there, unity of command is achieved. What exactly unity of command is? Each employee should have one boss, and that one boss need to command, that one boss need to give direction, and how exactly it is? It should have mutual coordination. Early beginning. Now, early beginning in the sense, coordination is interrelated. See, without coordination, even the functions of management, say example, now you have functions of management, planning you have, right? Organizing you have, organizing. Then you have staffing. Then you have directing. And the last you have controlling. And then you have again planning. It is a continuous process, right? Now we call this as functions of management. Now coordination is from the beginning. Everywhere you are supposed to have coordination. Only then the functions of management will be proper. That's why it is what? Early beginning. Coordination principle is scalar chain. That is, from the top to the bottom, authority flows. From the bottom to the top, responsibility goes. So it is a scalar chain. Coordination is continuity. Continuous it is. Span of management. How many people need to listen to how many managers? Span of management. Direct contact. Now, when we say that, there was no coordination, there was lack of coordination. Why? Because directly you are not coordinating with each other. So coordination should always go with what? Direct contact with the manager. Then only the coordination can be attained. So any doubt regarding this chapter, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you. Thank you.